Stingray. It's a brand name, but it has become the standard name for a type of cell phone tracker and related equipment that's been secretly purchased and used by law enforcement across the country, including right here in Illinois. In tonight's special report, which you'll see here only on ABC News Channel 20, our Garrett Berger digs into who has these trackers and how they've been used.
Stingray, it's a brand name from the Florida-based Harris Corporation, a communications company that provides gear to the military and law enforcement. Because of non-disclosure agreements and attempts by law enforcement to conceal how the devices are used, we don't know the specifics of how they work or what their capabilities are, aside from knowing they mimic cell towers to track down cell phones. What we do know is who has them. They're called Stingrays, and they have a host of associated cell phone monitoring tools with names like Amberjack, Kingfish, Triggerfish, and Porpoise, all sold by the Florida-based Harris Corporation. Because of the secrecy surrounding the equipment, their full capabilities aren't known, though media reports say Stingrays are able to mimic a cell phone tower to collect information from phones, most notably their location. Recent Associated Press reports show the Obama administration has been advising law enforcement not to reveal details about surveillance equipment, including Stingrays, and non-disclosure agreements with the Harris Corporation have sometimes kept police silent. And the Harris Corporation isn't talking either. Documents obtained by News Channel 20 show that in 2008, the Illinois State Police purchased more than $250,000 worth of Stingray equipment and training from the Harris Corporation. A letter from Rod Blagojevich's general counsel at the time gave ISP the go-ahead to skip the competitive bidding process to, quote, covertly purchase the equipment. ISP spokeswoman Monique Bond says the technology hasn't been used in, quote, a very long time, but she was unable to say when it was used last or where the equipment is now. She said in the early years, the Stingray equipment was used mainly for Amber Alerts, missing persons, and missing children. Whether this is the agreement she was referring to is uncertain, but under the Harris Corporation's terms and conditions provided to us, the ISP is barred from, quote, making any news release, public announcement, denial, or confirmation of the sale. That's disconcerting for the Illinois ACLU, whose public policy director says it's important for law enforcement and the public to have an open dialogue about this sort of equipment's existence and its use.
And I think when a third party comes in and dictates how that conversation can occur, I think that is very troubling.
Documents indicate the Stingray technology was also meant to be used to assist other law enforcement agencies. The ISP says that happened fewer than a dozen times. But in at least one of those cases, we know it was used in central Illinois.
We have this tool, and we can, if you guys need something like this, reach out to us and we'll help you out.
An Urbana police lieutenant says the Illinois State Police made a presentation about the gear to an informal group of Champaign County officers a few years ago. They even gave out informational packets, though Urbana police declined to provide those to us, citing a Freedom of Information Act exemption for information that would disclose unique or specialized investigative techniques.
If you need to use us, give us a call, and here's how you go about getting us, and sort of here's what some of the process would be.
So when Urbana police needed help to track down a cell phone related to a murder case, they knew who to call. ISP personnel came to the city in fall 2009 with both a van-mounted tracker and a smaller on-person tracker.
In our case, I believe it was a Triggerfish example.
They were not successful in finding the phone, and that's the only time UPD remembered using it. The state police are not the only ones deploying these type of devices. After we requested any documents about cell phone tracking equipment, specifically Stingrays, from the city of Decatur, the city denied our request, saying the equipment we were inquiring about was being used in 2 investigations. A lieutenant with the Decatur police said those cases involved the DEA. The gear, he said, was the DEA's, so we could not discuss their investigations or procedures. Decatur, he said, does not own, borrow, or operate, quote, the devices in question. The ACLU has criticized the use of these tools, especially the secretive manner in which they're sometimes purchased and deployed. In Florida, the ACLU obtained emails showing the U.S. Marshal's Office had been instructing local police to conceal the use of Stingray trackers in warrant applications by saying the information came from confidential sources. According to the ISP, outside of Amber Alerts, they only track phones with a court order, but the ACLU still has concerns.
Every time these technologies have come online, there have been abuses.
Through public documents and media reports, the ACLU has compiled a list of states and federal agencies that have used Stingray equipment. According to them, state and/or local law enforcement in 15 states have the technology, as well as a dozen federal agencies that have been known to use it, including branches of the military, the FBI, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and of course, the NSA. Though state police say they don't use that Stingray equipment anymore, they say it's because they have more robust resources at their disposal now. So, in use or not, the issue of tracking cell phones is far from dead. Tomorrow night, we'll go more into what's being done to prevent the abuse of cell phone tracking technology.
Thanks, Garrett. News Channel 20 also sent out Freedom of Information Act requests to the major city police departments and county sheriff offices in the central Illinois area. We asked for any documents related to cell phone tracking equipment, especially known Harris Corporation trademark names like Stingray. Aside from Decatur and Urbana, all of the departments said they did not have any such documents.